Welcome to our lesson for chapter 3, which is icons and decision-making controls. Actually, this is the part 2 of the previously discussed last week. So this is a continuation wherein you can learn here is about decision-making controls or the conditional statements. Okay, so here we have a decision controls. So in making decision controls, we have the conditional statement. It's what we call a decision structure. Okay, or in other book, it says that it's a control structure with different decision process. Okay, so to test the condition, we have first the if statement. So when you say if statement, the syntax is follow. If the condition followed by the condition, then begin statement, and the condition that needs to satisfy if the given set condition is true. Okay, meaning the condition must be or it must set as true. So take note, statement between the opening and closing brace are executed if the condition is true. So example, age is greater than equal to 18. So if yung condition, legal age, okay? If age is greater than equal to 18, if the user entered 18, so technically, it's true. So that's an if statement. So the condition is based on the structures. Okay, so now we have the second slides. So another example for the if-else statement, we have the code syntax. So this is actually the continuation of the discussion that we had last week. So we have the conversion. So if the weight entered is less than or equal to 500, so begin statement. So what we're going to do is to convert the weight. So technically, converted weight is our formula for the weighted entered divided by the conversion rate. So we need to set that in order to come up with a given condition. So therefore, if it's true, then automatically it will execute. Otherwise or else, the statement is condition if the condition is false. So meaning the condition is not satisfied. So technically that's the reason. So one set of statements are executed if the condition is true, and a different set of statements are executed if the condition is false. So that's what it's written. Okay, thank you. So next, we have here the relational operators. So in Java strings, there are equals method of the string. So take note, equal sign is different from equal to. So when you say equal, as simple as equal, meaning you assigning a variable. So you need to assign, example, variable of x is equal to 2. So meaning there's an assignment operator. You assign as equal, but there's no comparison. So unlike equal to, there is a comparison. Those are the relational operator. So we need to check between two variables or multiple variables. So these are the example of relational operator. We have equal to, example, 6 is equal to 6. So technically that's true. 6 is equal to 6. But if it's 6 equals 6, so technically that's not a relational. Okay? So we have not equal to. So 4 not equal to 7, false. Greater than, so less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to. So you already know that. So my question is that, example, is 18 is greater than equal to 18? True or false? So technically, it's true because greater than equal. Okay, so just like that. Okay, so those are written here in table 4-3. So now we have the continuation. So another example. Given the string, so we have string name 1, name 2, name 3. So there are different strings name. So technically, we have to assign. So we use equal assignment. Okay, but if you're going to assign, you have to include the condition. For example, if then open close parentheses for the name 1, if the name 1 that equals to the name 2, are they equal? So technically not. So the result is false. So same logic with another one. If name 1, which is Sarah, compared to name 1, So name 1 is actually Sarah. She's still Sarah. So if we're going to compare Sarah to Sarah is equal to 0. So technically that's true. So that's a resulting condition and so on. So this is how the relational operators do. Okay, we're going to compare the given string. Okay, in this example, then we check the resulting condition. Compound conditions. So in terms of compound condition, this actually tested more than 2 conditions. So meaning the condition is not only between 2 variables, meaning more than 2 variables. But still, on that given note, you need a logical operator to come up with a given compound condition. So in programming, we have here an AND, double ampersand as AND. So all condition must be true because you use as AND. Okay, so example, if open close flight is less than 400 and hotel is less than 120. So this actually an AND. It must be true. Otherwise, it's not an AND. Okay. Then we have an OR. So in logical operator, this an OR. The 2 pipes are the 2 lines, or at least 1 condition must be true. In keyboard, that's a 2 pipes. Okay, not as I. Okay, in programming, you could press the 2 pipes in the keyboard. Okay, you can see that. And then same with true, if at least 1 condition must be true, at least 1. So meaning not false at all, but at least 1 must be true. Then not, meaning exclamation point in programming, reverse of the truth, of course false, or any value that's reverse. So the meaning of the set conditions. So if not, okay, open close not grade is greater than 70, so that's not. Okay, so that's how compound condition works. Clear? Okay. Next, we have here a data validation. So in data validations and toss notifications, what are the difference between the two? Of course, the data validation means you need to validate the given conditions. So meaning there's a entries or the data entries that need to check in order for us to validate. That's how the data validation works. While the toast notification, meaning there's a message that can show or that could pop up based on the selected validation. Clear? So that's how it works. So example for the code syntax. Toast, then the toast for the variable is equal to toast. Okay, the context followed by the text, comma, then duration, open close, that shows. So that's the code syntax. Actually, we did that in previous demonstration on log. We use a toast method. So here, the code syntax, also we could use toast that make text followed by the main activity. So this followed by the message or the text message. Okay. So the text message shows that here we have pounds must be less than 500. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, they will check the given validation that will show or that will pop up. Okay, clear? So now we proceed with the next slides. So here we have the checkbox. So it's check method, and of course that we could use in radio button controls. Okay, so this is check method determines if the radio button object has been selected. So technically if it's selected. So if example open close, the label to kilo is checked. If it's checked, then complete the statement that it's actually true. If, then else, or otherwise false. So that's the is check method. So you have to include that is check. Clear? Then next we have here the syntax for the double. So when you say double, that parts double. So those are the process in terms of getting the floating point values. Okay, so what we need to do is to check the double data type based on the weight entered by the user. So automatically it will convert based on the data type, as I said. So the syntax will be double that parts double. Okay, so it converts input to a double data type, and integer that parts in converts input to an integer data type. So there are different things. Double for floating point value, integer for whole numbers. That's the different scenario. So depend on the computations, or it depends if there's a whole number, or if the answer is, or if the answer has a decimal places. Okay, then one good example. So this is a continuation of our codes. You have to make it weight entered, so equal to double that parse double open close weight that get text to string. So meaning you need to convert the text that assigned to weight to a double data type. So you have to insert that in order for you to convert that value. So as simple as that. Actually, that's a part of adding the codes on line 35. Okay, clear? Next. So here we have the decimal format code that has a rounds off to the nearest tenth, meaning if the decimal format rounds to one place past the decimal point, so we can use here as decimal format. So take note, is a case sensitive. So capital D, then the decimal, no spaces, then the F for format, then open space, the variable which is tenth, so equal to new the decimal format, then open close. So take note the hashtag or hash key. So this actually the digits that corresponds with the answer. Then point is the decimal places. So it depends on the sharp or the digits that you need to float. Okay, so that's how it works. So since the answer is only one digit for before the decimal, example, the answer is 1.2. So 1, then 0.2, example. Okay, so the decimal format rounds to one place past decimal point or past the decimal point. Okay, so depend on the format. You can also use comma as separator if you want. Okay, so that it will make more formal if the value needs a computation, for example, a peso or dollar. So so that's money conversion factors. So next we have the nested if. So when you say nested if, this is a condition when if one statement is inside of another if statement. So meaning in some book, that's actually a ladderized if. So meaning there's a multiple if. Then on that note, they will check if the condition is true, then true. Okay, so or multiple if statement in some books. So here in an if statement, it determines, example, if the pound to kilo radio button controls it check. So as you can see in figure 4-28, if statement to test if the first radio button is checked. Example, if open close label to kilo, that is checked. So if it's checked, so what comes next? So you can insert another if. So multiple if, but as much possible, it is inside the blocks of begin and end statement. So take note inside. We have here the nested if. So another example, if the weight entered is less than equal to 500, they will check. If still true, another if, multiple if. Else, if the condition is false. So technically, it will show or it will pop up the message for the false value. Okay? Nested if else statement determines if the weight is valid. If the weight is valid, otherwise, it will exit, or otherwise, use else as false statement. Then you could toast the message. That's how it works. So here is the part of the nested if statement that the number of pounds is converted to kilograms and display in the result in a plain text view. So as you can see here, there is a result, or there's a convert weight, or the functions for the computation is weight entered divided by conversion rate. So that's equations, then followed by the results that could display on the given message. Okay, so that's how it works. So you have to insert that, enable for you to display the result. Of course, if the formula is not correct or is incorrect, so technically it will result an incorrect value. Okay, so because we did a program, okay, we do codings, still whatever the compiler or the program converted, that's how it gives the results. Okay, so much better you need to check your formula first. We have here a toast message display a reminder to enter a valid weight. So as part of reminder, okay, so this is actually a toast message that reminds the user to validate. So we use toast that make text in main activity, that this followed by the text. Actually, we did this in calculator app. So we use the method for the toss, then it will give you the answer based on the message that you need to supply. Okay, so you already know this. So next, so same as true with the selected radio button, and in completing code, that's it. So you need to exit, of course, the given process. So the summary, of course, display a custom launcher. We did that, the custom launcher. So I will check later the icons that you have with your assignment. We use the default icons. Okay, we did that last week. We also include the radio button controls. That's actually a discussion in part 1. We also have color codes based on the hexadecimal. We use also the layout based on the different objects. And now in this part 2, we discuss the conditional statements, which is if for the condition, if else, relational, and compound conditions. So those are the summary of this lesson. It's actually a continuation. The last one is the summary for the toast notification, then displaying a brief message, and a nested if statement based on the given condition.